turn the page, looking for the perfect light upon the stage. They say the soil has to be exactly right to break the surface and step into the light. But I am buried in the crack of a stone, finding a rhythm that is totally my own. I don't require the permission of the sun. The quiet revolution has already begun. I don't need a grand excuse to open wide, pushing the heavy winter completely aside. A simple breath of air is a good enough cue to show the universe a color totally new. No epic story and no complicated rhyme. I am simply waking up ahead of the time, breaking the shell because I want to be free, showing the beautiful reality of me. People asking for the motive and the cause, looking for a dramatic moment of applause. They want a manifesto written on the wall, but I am just answering a very quiet call. A drop of water at a fraction of the heat is all it takes to make the miracle complete. I leave the complicated theories in the dark, igniting the future with a tiny little spark. I don't need a grand excuse to open wide, pushing the heavy winter completely aside. A simple breath of air is a good enough cue to show the universe a color totally new. No epic story and no complicated rhyme. I am simply waking up ahead of time, breaking the shell because I want to be free, showing the beautiful reality of me.
The world is painted in ash and deep smoke. Life is feeling like a terrible joke. Nobody asked for a vibrant pink hue or a shocking explosion of brilliant blue. The atmosphere is heavy, monochrome and grim. The chances of joy are incredibly slim. I could easily blend with the brown and the gray, but I have a completely different thing to say. Spilling the vivid pigment over the dull scene. I am the brightest thing that you have ever seen. I didn't get an invitation to decorate this land. I am painting the canvas with my own rebel hand. The radical act of being unapologetically bright is how I fight against the fading of the light. No one will request this magnificent color scheme, but I am waking the city from a terrible dream. They stare at my brightness with a heavy shock. Walking past me on a desolate block, I'm a loud and highly saturated noise, breaking the silence of the automated toys. I don't apologize for ruining the mood. I am feeding the hungry their visual food. A sudden contrast in a world of despair. I am throwing my brilliant paint in the air, spilling the vivid pigment over the dull seed. I am the brightest thing that you have ever seen. I didn't get an invitation to decorate this land. I am painting the canvas with my own rebel hand. The radical act of being unapologetic. from a terrible dream.
Deep inside the valley where nobody goes, far from the applause and the glamorous shows, there is no audience to clap their empty hands, no cheering from the center of the stadium stands. If beauty happens silently without a sound, does it really matter if it hits the ground? I listen to the whisper of the empty wind and leave my hesitation completely behind, bursting with the crimson and the striking blue, without a single witness to appreciate the view. I don't need a camera to validate my worth. I am rising proudly from the silent earth, a pure display of magic on the lonely hill, because I have the quiet and majestic will. No grand debate about the reason I am here, just a brilliant ray of light inside the atmosphere. People bloom to capture somebody's eye, selling their perfection to the passers-by. But I am decorating an abandoned space with a very private and majestic grace. My validation comes from simply being alive. I don't need the validation to survive. The lonely woods will be my glorious domain, washing my spirit in the heavy forest rain, bursting with the crimson and the striking blue, without a single witness to appreciate the view. I don't need a camera to validate my worth. I am rising proudly from the silent earth, a pure display of magic on the lonely hill, because I have the quiet and majestic will. No grand debate about the reason I am here, just a brilliant ray of light inside the
The massive trees are stealing all the morning light, leaving me entirely in the middle of the night. They say you need the golden rays to make a start, but I have a glowing ember deep inside my heart. The canopy is thick and blocking out the sky. The experts look at me and say that I will die, but I am perfectly content inside the heavy shade. I don't need the sunshine to make the final grade. Unlocking the geometry of the silent dark. I don't need a spotlight to leave a stunning arc, expanding very quietly beneath the heavy leaves. A subtle kind of magic that the forest barely perceives. I navigate the shadows with a quiet, steady grace. I am orchestrating an escape from this forgotten place. No validation from the brilliant sky above, just a silent manifestation of my own self. self-love. Let the giant branches fight for all the highest views. I am busy manufacturing the deepest, richest hues. The quiet of the undergrowth is my preferred domain. I drink the filtered water from my heavy forest rain. I stretch my little petals in the middle of the bloom. I don't need a sunny window to command a room. The darkness isn't scary, it's a blanket for my soul. I've taken full and absolute invisible control. I liken to the albatree of the silent dark. I don't need a spotlight to leave a stunning mark, expanding very quietly beneath the heavy leaves. A subtle kind of magic that the forest barely perceives. I navigate the shadows with a quiet, steady grace. I am orchestrating an escape from this forgotten place. No validation from the brilliant sky above, just a silent manifestation of my own self-love.
Buried so deep in the absolute black, abandoned completely without a track. No one remembers the day I was sown. I am surviving entirely alone. No silver watering can from above, no gentle whisper of botanical love. Just the heavy pressure of the silent earth, waiting to test my unbelievable worth. Reaching blindly through the unforgiving soil, driven by a secret and invisible toil. I arrive at the surface without any call, the most unapologetic greeting of all. I crash the quiet party of the barren ground, making a visual and beautiful sound. I don't ask permission to finally exist. I am the stubborn life that they completely missed. Footsteps walk over my hidden domain, thinking the land is just empty and plain. But I am collecting the underground stream, building the power to finish the dream. When I break through the dirt in the morning light, it will be a terrifying, gorgeous sight. I am the forgotten and the left behind, bringing a shock to the collective mind. Reaching blindly through the unforgiving soil, driven by a secret and invisible toil. I arrive at the surface without any call, the most unapologetic greeting of all. I cross the quiet party of the barren grounds, making a visual and beautiful sound. I don't ask permission to finally exist. I am the stubborn life that they completely missed.
The pressure has been building deep inside the stem, a highly concentrated and undiscovered gem. It isn't a philosophy or deeply layered thought. It's not a heavy lesson that I recently was taught. The tension is physical, begging for a break. I am vibrating wildly, starting to awake. Holding it back would be a terrible mistake. I have a massive statement that I finally must make. Exhaling the beauty I was holding tight inside, I open up the gates and I let the barriers slide. A massive release of the tension and the power, transforming the frantic energy into a flower. No philosophical reason or heavy long debate. I simply refuse to hesitate or wait. The biological imperative is rushing through my chest. I am putting my vitality to the ultimate test. Like a singer who has held a Fido ringing note, the massive sound is tearing through my quiet throat. It is an act of breathing, a necessity of life, cutting through the silence with a gorgeous floral knife. I don't need an excuse to take a breath of air. I don't need to justify the colors that I wear. I am an explosion of the inevitable truth, the permanent display of my everlasting youth. Exhaling the beauty I was holding tight inside, I open up the gates and I let the barriers slide. A massive release of the tension and the power, transforming the frantic energy into a flower. No philosophical reason or heavy long debate. I simply refuse to hesitate or wait. The biological imperative is rushing through my chest. I am putting my vitality to the ultimate test.
The gardeners like their perfect little rose, deciding exactly where the beauty goes. They trim the hedges and they pull the weed, dictating the future of the chosen seed. But the wind carried me over the tall brick wall. I landed where I wasn't supposed to fall, surrounded by the chaos and the untamed grass. I watched the heavy boots of the strangers pass, thriving in the middle of a tangled mess. I don't need a greenhouse to relieve my stress, rejecting the perfectly symmetrical line. This chaotic explosion of life is mine. I grow without a blueprint or a master guide. I have a wild and undeniable pride. No manicured borders to hold me in place. I'm claiming a totally unapproved space. They look at my spot and they call it a flaw, an ugly disruption of their visual law. They threaten to spray and they threaten to cut, keeping their narrow imagination shut. But I am not waiting for a fancy pot. I am making the most of the dirt I got. The messy environment is fueling my fire. perfecting a perfectly symmetrical line. This chaotic explosion of life is mine. I grew without a blueprint or a master guide. I have a wild and undeniable pride. No manicured borders to hold me in place. I am claiming a totally unapproved space.
The calendar has passed the hairy days of spring. The other flowers finished all the songs they sing. The leaves are turning brown and falling to the dirt. The cold is creeping in like a deeply quiet hurt. They tell me I am late and I missed the proper time. To open up right now would be a foolish crime. But my internal clock is ticking to a different beat. I am preparing to make the bitter season sweet. Striking a match when the fire is almost gone. I am a totally unexpected, beautiful dawn, refusing to synchronize with the rest of the field. I am the very last secret to be boldly revealed. The delay was never a sign of an early defeat. I am making the end of the year incredibly sweet. I ignore the falling temperature and dropping scale. I am a glorious and wildly defiant tale. The world is getting ready for a long and hairy sleep, but I have a magnificent promise I must keep. I gather all the energy I save throughout the year and wash away the hesitation, wash away the fear. A burst of brilliant color in the middle of the gray. I am deciding to celebrate my own specific day. I don't care if the audience is already gone home. I am perfectly happy to be blooming here alone. Striking the match when the fire is almost gone. I am a totally unexpected, beautiful dawn, refusing to synchronize with the rest of the field. I am the very last secret to be boldly revealed. The delay was never a sign of an early defeat. I am making the end of the year incredibly sweet. I ignore the falling temperature and dropping scale. I am a glorious and wildly defiant No buzzing of the bees to visit my display. No gentle butterflies to pass the time of day. There is no biological duty I must fulfill. I am acting on my own independent thrill. Blooming isn't a job or a complicated chore. It's not about keeping a biological score. It is a celebration of the fact that I exist. I am a joyful anomaly that cannot be dismissed. Throwing confetti from the center of my core. I am not asking what this existence is truly for. A solitary carnival without a grand parade. I am enjoying the glorious music I have made, unfurling the banners of yellow, red, and white, dancing entirely alone in the middle of the night. I don't need a spectator to cheer my vibrant dress. I am the author of my own spectacular success. The logic of the universe demands a strict return, an investment of the energy that I decide to burn. But I am spending wildly without a careful thought. I am breaking all the rules that I was ever taught. The sheer delight of stretching out into the open air is the only justification that is actually there. I throw a massive party for myself and nothing else. I am completely captivated by my inner self. Throwing confetti from the center of my core. I am not asking what this existence is truly for. A solitary carnival without a grand parade. I am enjoying the glorious music I have made. I'm filling the banner to yellow, red, and white, dancing entirely alone in the middle of the night. I don't need a spectator to cheer my vibrant dress. I am the author of my own spectacular success.
The howling wind gives a terrible threat, the heaviest storm that I ever have met. It tells me to stay in my protective shell, to hide from the fury of this living hell. The logic says wait for a quieter day when the dangerous weather has faded away. But a bud that is closed is a terrible cage. I am ready to step on this violent stage, tearing open my own defensive green shield, exposing my heart on the dangerous field. I don't ask the hurricane for a ceasefire. I am burning with my own internal desire. Let the fierce gale try to scatter my soul. I am embracing my vulnerable role, showing my fragile center to the heady sky. I would rather be broken than hidden and dry. If I wait for the safety that never arrives, I will be wasting the best of my lives. The petals might rip and the stem might bend, but I will be totally alive to the end. The act of opening is a massive scream, waking reality out of its dream. I challenge the storm with a delicate face, holding my ground in this terrifying phrase. Tearing open my own defensive green shield, exposing my heart on the dangerous field. I don't ask the hurricane for a ceasefire. I am burning with my own
They pave the city over with a heavy gray, telling all of nature it should stay away. No gardener to water and no gentle hand, just the unforgiving surface of a busy land. But underneath the pressure I am feeling brave. I refuse to treat this darkness as my quiet grave. I gather all my energy to make a stand and push against the concrete of the human plan. I crack the solid pavement with a quiet force, taking an impossible and rugged course. No justification needed for the sudden grace. I bring a living beauty to this sterile place, a silent roar of life upon the empty street, ignoring the impossible and heavy heat. I push the heavy asphalt entirely apart, following the rhythm of my wild origin heart. Footsteps walk above me, but they do not know the unbelievable pressure of the world below. I don't need a fertilizer or a perfect day. I am taking back the territory anyway. The tiniest of fractures is a massive door. I am climbing from the center of the city floor. I am not apologizing for the space I take. I do it for my own incredible and living sake. I crack the solid pavement with the quiet force, taking an impossible and rugged course. No justification needed for the sudden grace. I bring a living beauty to the sterile place, a silent roar of life upon the empty street, ignoring the impossible and heavy heat. I push the heavy asphalt entirely upon me, following the rhythm of my wild origin heart. The sky hasn't cried a single drop in many weeks. The dry and dusty landscape desperately speaks. The cracked and barren ground is begging for a drink. The other plants are standing right upon the brink. They tell me to conserve and close my petals tight, to hide my vulnerable beauty from the blazing light. But I have pushed my roots impossibly down low. I found a hidden river where the ancient waters flow, pulling the moisture from a hidden ancient vein. I am not begging the empty crowds for a drop of rain, sustaining the miracle upon the absolute dust. I am doing exactly what my stubborn nature must, a green resurrection in the barren, dry sand, the most impossible magic in the empty land. I don't need the external world to give me a cue. I am drawing the strength to create something new. The scorching sun is trying to burn my confidence, but my internal reservoir is massive and immense. I bypass the tragedy that sits upon the crust and build my own survival with a heavy trust. When the surface offers nothing but a terrible drown, I reach inside to figure the impossible puzzle out. I bloom in the desert like a sudden shocking ghost, because I know how to navigate the wilderness the most. Pull in the moisture from a hidden ancient vein. I am not begging the empty clouds for a drop of rain. Sustaining the miracle upon the absolute dust. I'm doing exactly what my stubborn nature must. A green resurrection in the barren, dry sand, the most impossible magic in the empty land. I don't need the external world to give me a cue. I am drawing the strength to create something new.
The snow is falling heavy on the frozen town. Everything is sleeping and completely shut down. The experts say to wait until the month of May to keep the fragile energy tucked and safe away. But I am feeling restless in the bitter chill. I have an overflowing in the electric will. I cannot hold the magic for another week. I have a very vivid language I must speak, defying the thermometer and freezing cold, unfolding all the secrets that I quietly hold. I don't require the permission of the melting ice. I am paying the ridiculous and heavy price. A rebel petal blooming near the midnight snow, deciding on my own exactly when to grow. I throw away the clock and step right out of time, committing a beautiful and floral crime. The frost is trying hard to bite my tender leaves, a cynical illusion that the world believes. But warmth is generated from the deep within. I know exactly how my story will begin. You don't need a summer to display your best. I am putting my vitality to the final test. The quiet winter night is gonna be my stage. I am writing on a completely unexpected page, defying the thermometer and freezing cold, unfolding all the secrets that I quietly hold. I don't require the permission of the melting ice. I am paying the ridiculous and heavy price. A rebel petal blooming in the midnight snow, deciding on my own exactly when to grow. I throw away the clock and step right out of time, culminating a beautiful and floral They asked me for a thesis and a heavy book, explaining every single little path I took. Why did you decide to open up today? What is the philosophy you wanna say? I look at them and laugh at all the complex words. I am just behaving like the singing birds. No intellectual debate about my roots, just the undeniable energy that shoots, reaching for the sky without a grand design. A natural rebellion in this body of mine, drawn to the magnetic open space. I do not need a reason for my upward pace. It isn't complicated and it isn't deep. I am waking from a very long and heavy sleep. The upward ride is all the logic that I need, fulfilling the potential of the buried seed. Analysis is paralyzing to the soul. I don't have a calculated massive goal. The stretching of the branches is an instinct's play. I'm simply doing what I want today. If you demand a purpose for the things I do, I have absolutely nothing to explain to you. I trust the simple chemistry inside my vein and let the wild nature totally remain. Reaching for the sky without a grand design, a natural rebellion in this body of mine, drawn to the magnetic pulling of the open space. I do not need a reason for my upward pace. It isn't complicated and it isn't deep. I am waking from a very long and heavy sleep. The upward tide is all the logic that I need, fulfilling the potential of the buried seed. Pragmatic voices whisper in my ear, asking me why I'm bothering here. If you only live for a single short day, why spend the energy to make a display? They want a monument built out of stone, a legacy resting upon a high throne. But I don't care about the concept of time. I am committing a glorious crime, exploding into a brief and violent majesty, rejecting the promise of a long eternity. A single brilliant moment is completely enough, and I'm showing the universe my magical stuff. I don't need to last for 100 long years to conquer the darkness and conquer the fears. I spend all my wealth in a fraction of light and disappear happily into the night. Longevity is a very boring pursuit. I am a rapidly accelerating route. I gather the power for one massive show, letting the brightest of my energies flow. Tomorrow the